Thank you everyone for joining us today. We are pleased to have Dr. Zachary Hodges here, President of HCC Northwest here in Katy. HCC is Katy's community college. We're grateful that Dr. Hodges has joined us today to give us an update on where they're at and what their plans are moving forward. With that, Dr. Hodges, the floor is yours. If anybody has questions throughout today's presentation, please add them to the chat and we'll get those answered by the end of the presentation. Thank you, Dr. Hodges.
Good. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you today. This is perfect. Let me apologize in advance for the distractions. If the clock on the wall goes off, if somebody walks through, if the dogs bark, I think those of you that have been doing Zoom meetings or Teams meetings understand that part of our new reality is making do and accommodating each other. So I hope the quality on this is okay. And I really appreciate this opportunity. I think what we'll do, have a PowerPoint, and Matthew is going to, I'm going to say, change the slide and then get him to change the slide. I have about 20 pieces of paper around here, which I may refer to or may not. I think it's better probably just to have an informal conversation, but cover as much information as I can about kind of the state of higher education in the greater Houston area and what we are doing, what Houston Community College is doing to respond to that. So let's get started. Let me kind of set the stage first of all and say that the Katy Chamber of Commerce is a really, really important organization for me. It really brings back, we've been members, I guess, at HCC for probably 30 years. I was the Citizen of the Year from the Katy Area Chamber of Commerce in 2004. I have two daughters that graduated from Taylor High School. I had a wife who had a long teaching career at Katy ISD, was Teacher of the Year, Secondary Teacher of the Year in either 1999 or 2000. Longtime Katy resident. So let me just say, Katy has been good to me, and I think our family has been really good to Katy. What a great place. It's really home. So it's really, that's, on a lot of levels, it's a wonderful opportunity to be here with you today. We've served the Katy community since 1979, and I know that because I was the one, after I first came to work at HCC, that came out and visited with Howard McDonald, who was principal at Katy High School. And there was one high school at that point in time, and Taylor was getting ready to open, so it goes back a long way. And we were doing after school classes at Katy High School in 1979. And I'll get in a little bit later about dual credit and that HCC's longtime commitment to dual credit at Katy ISD and show you some numbers on that. You know, when I talk about Houston Community College and the Houston reach, I'm talking about really the definition of the Houston Galveston Area Council, which is either 8 or 9 county-wide efforts. So when we talk about economic impact and talk about recovery in the economic area and various programs we have there throughout that area, and also in partnership with other community colleges. So I want to make sure that you understand that, you know, when I say Houston, I'm including the region. We have many faculty, staff, and leaders who live in the Katy community. We're a part of this community. We raise our kids here. Our families own homes here and live here. And so we're all a part of the investment that we want to make within the community. Our Katy campus, which you see there on the left, is our current campus, and we've been there about 25 years, and it has served us well. We own 26 acres around there, It's off of Fry Road in Fox Lake, Park Row, Fry Road area. And we have 4,000 students currently at this campus. And you see the demographic representation, also the number of Pell Grant recipients, which really make college free, and then the number of first-generation college students. So we are about access and opportunity, and take that seriously. Okay, next one. We all got a punch in the gut with this new COVID virus, and we really had to adjust quickly. We have about, Houston Community College has about 65,000 students. About 23% of those students were taking online classes because it's convenient for students. We had to move all of our students online, just like the public schools did and the universities did. So, and then close our campuses. Everything I say today really starts off the premise with safety first, and then we go from there. So we have had a ton of meetings, probably 8 hours a week when this first broke, in moving our classes online. Fortunately, Houston Community College faculty were way ahead on that, and most of them had some kind of online presence or a infrastructure of their classes and syllabus that made that shift a little bit easier. But you know, it's a lot easier to move English and history and government online than it is to move welding, truck driving, air conditioning, and those kinds of programs online. I'll talk about that a little bit later. So what also happened is all our faculty and staff moved to, a stay-at-home environment and continue to work at home. It was interesting that what that also enabled us to do, and by responding very quickly with our technology, is to reach out to our students in a very effective way. Some of the data on that, we worried about students, whether they would be able to make that shift from on campus to off campus. And we connected with 95% of our students early on. That's better probably than if they're in person. And that enabled us to troubleshoot their concerns. And HCC responded very quickly as far as trying to get technology to the students and work with those students on accommodating them in the way they learn. You know, it still doesn't make up for the experience probably even some of you had, where you've got 2 people working at home, 4 kids, and not enough rooms where everybody has a private space that they need to really function at a peak level. But we did the best we could, didn't we? And we're still in that environment, and it looks like we will be for a while. I'm glad I'll talk a little bit about how we're opening back up, and glad to see the businesses and a lot of people going back to work, and encourage everybody to wear masks and when they're out in public. And I bet you most of our members of the chamber encourage them as well. We asked students how they responded to the online shift, and we really got a very high correlation as far as student success and student satisfaction. 21,000 students responded at the end of the semester in a survey, and 43% said they had a positive experience and things worked well in the shift. And then we got very few unsatisfactory. If you'll shift the page, Matthew. Next page, Matthew. With the CARE Act, we also received an amount of federal funding, which helped. We paid through our reserves the initial funding for a lot of the technology. But through the Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund, we received money to help students stay in school and then provide direct grants for students as far as emergency aid in tune of 14.1 million. And then we had 14.1 million dedicated to the institution for us to make the transformation to online learning, which included providing laptops, licenses, technology support, training for our faculty, going out even to the students and making sure they were set up to be able to continue on their work successfully. And we're keeping a lot of that money in reserve to help students pay tuition for the summer and the fall. We're also, as we bring students back on campus, again, safety first, we're working with our facilities to make sure everything is clean, everything is safe, that we're observing the one quarter numbers in the room. So if the normal number was 36, then we're going to have 9. So in a biology lab, that means that we've got off of 4 labs to accommodate those students. So there's a lot of moving parts in the meeting the needs of our students while keeping them safe and keeping the community safe. Okay, next page. So our reopening plans, we have moved from the response function to the recovery function. And in May, we, for the first time, gave students at the end of May access into their offices to retrieve any essentials they left behind. That was the first attempt they had for that. We are really excited about a new program that we're going to launch. And Matthew, we want to make sure we can get this up on your website and get it advertised as much as possible.
Absolutely.
And our initiative is called jobsnowhouston.org. We're working with the Texas Workforce Commission to help students get entry-level positions and to retrain for those positions. So we see, the unemployment rate, we see the number of people out of work, and this is a perfect opportunity with some federal funding to get people retrained and realigned into 21st century kinds of jobs. So watch that website, jobsnowhouston.org. You're going to hear a lot about it. I think, again, it's a Houston, Galveston area initiative. Other community colleges, I think, may join us in this effort, but it's jobsnowhouston.org. In June, we're going to bring back a number of students who couldn't complete their training. We had a number of students in health careers, in the welding program, and HVAC, construction trades, EMT programs, police academy, fire academy, and truck driving that required labs to finish their training. So we're going to bring those students back first to help them finish the semester with their lab training. So that is going to be our first step of getting students back on campus, again, with all of the safety concerns being addressed. In July, our second summer term, we will bring the other students that are not in essential careers back on campus to help them get finished with their training, as well as starting some new courses as well. In July, we expect our testing centers to open so students can get registered for the fall. Our enrollment right now is up about 10% for the summer and probably going to be significant in the fall as well. I feel so sorry for families whose students are planning to go off to a university, and those universities will probably be open. But I know that as a parent, I understand the doubts in your mind as far as, is it safe or is it not safe? And so we're going to get a number of students who are going to probably stay home a semester, come to Houston Community College, get their credits, which will all count, and then move on then. Fall semester access, we expect to be back in our new normal in the fall with classes in person, but again with reduced class size to accommodate social distancing. And then we will have a number of classes that are still online, and a number of classes that where students have, maybe they take their curriculum online, but they have to come to campus to do their work. You know, I'll tell you a story. We drive around with our puppies in the evening, and I drove by the downtown Houston library, and I thought, oh my goodness, all these people, these homeless people on the street. There were students who were accessing the broadband access at the Houston Downtown Library. I'm sure that's happening. I'm sure students are parking in our parking lot at the campuses to get that broadband access. Houston Community College has a robust system, and a lot of students need to come to the campus to get coaching, tutoring, have broadband access, and to have a safe, secure place where there's not distractions. So we expect full access based on our new normal, and of course the the state of the disease at that point in time. If the virus is to rebound, then we can quickly go back online. But our plan is to open in our new normal in the fall in a traditional manner. Okay, next slide. We are real excited about the new campus we're building in Katy. I'll show you a map in a second. 127,000 square feet. HCC is making a $55 million investment in the Katy community that will serve 7,000 students. And I'll talk a little bit about how higher education is changing in a minute. The focus of this is going to be on STEM for the classrooms and the labs. U of H HCC Engineering Academy, which I'll talk about in a little while, nursing prerequisites. Then we also have our other engineering academies with Texas A&M University and the University of Texas Tyler at our Alief campus and our Texas A&M campus at Spring Branch. And then one of our pathways will also be in agriculture, horticulture, with a 4-year pathway to Texas A&M. So we're excited about that. We'll have strong academic transfer because U of H Katy will not be offering freshman and sophomore level courses. This is a partnership that's efficient, is effective, and we have a great partner in U of H system, and then a great partner with U of H Katy. So you will have to take your courses at the freshman and sophomore level through Houston Community College and then transfer over. Get into that a little bit later. Some of you are probably aware of our business entrepreneurship programs. Hopefully some of you are partnering or are big graduates of our Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program or participating now in our business plan competition. We have great entrepreneurship programs. And what we'll tell you is small business people teach small business people and entrepreneurs teach entrepreneurs. That's the approach that we take. And we realize that small businesses are the backbone of this country. And as for us to support small business development is key to our success and to provide you with those kinds of necessary skills is a critical part of our success. We will offer courses in computer systems and cybersecurity at our new campus, advanced manufacturing systems, digital communication, Internet of Things, and then creativity kinds of courses in visual and performing arts. Okay, next page, please. And just to kind of talk to you, anybody that's got kids knows these kids are different these days. They are curious. They want immediate responses. They work in teams with their friends in new and creative ways, the ways that we can keep up with. And so what we're taking with this new campus and at Houston Community College is that students start off as a knowledge consumer. In a traditional classroom with high stakes testing, a student saying, what do you want me to learn? And I'll give it back to you on the test. And through digital literacy, classes, coaching, experimentation, project-based learning, encouraging students to have a learning portfolio to demonstrate what they're learning, having higher levels of integrated learning, and getting students ready for their next challenge, whether it's in the workforce or onto a university. We want to make students student knowledge content providers, where they are capable of producing knowledge and not only consuming knowledge. So we're serious about this approach. So next page. Okay, our new campus. Those are the Grand Parkway and Interstate 10. Again, our current campus is at Fry Road, and off of Fry Road and Park Row. We'll be moving about 5 miles west down Park Row, which becomes Colonial Parkway, and we will be about a 9-iron away from the University of Houston. So you see in blue the land that we bought, and then we have an option on the second piece of land, which we're going to figure out how we can get that. But we will be right across the street from U of H Katy on Colonial Parkway, a great site. Used to live in Williamsburg Settlement, so be right across the bayou from where I used to live. So next slide, please. This will be what the campus layout will look like. You'll see our first building there. We'll really have room for 3 buildings and additional parking. Our first campus will have a target of 7,000 students. And once we get to that number, we'll fill that up, and then we'll need to build another one. We encourage you to learn as much as possible about how we're funding and financing this campus. Katy ISD is in the service area of Houston Community College, but it's not in the taxing district of Houston Community College. So Katy residents do not pay taxes to Houston Community College. So what happens though is we have to build our revenues in supporting a campus like this by charging out-of-district tuition, which is double the tuition of our in-district students. So if anybody wants a project, you can be happy to talk with you about how we can talk about options for Katy coming into the Houston Community College District. But in the meantime, we are going to provide the highest level services that we can afford to do this. So we're excited about this new campus, and let's go to the next page. Here's a view of it. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be fantastic. Make a real presence for our community, and again, help build that higher education community for the Katy area with the U of H. Next one. First floor layout. The entire first floor is going to be around student engagement, working with advisors, working with getting their financial aid done, getting help as far as tutoring, an open library around coaching, and helping students become digital natives in the complete sense. I mean, our students know how to use a cell phone, but they don't necessarily know how to access all of the softwares they need to access. So the first floor will be project-based learning, active learning. So you may have an assignment on an online class that you're taking in history, but you may have to come meet your team at our campus to work with the team on the project that the professor has assigned. You know, I'll tell you a story. I had we're in a Sony partnership, and one of the professors that's in that as well is a professor at Stanford, a PhD in chemical engineering. And he did his undergraduate at Stanford and his master's and doctorate at MIT. And what he said was when he was at Stanford in undergraduate, he wouldn't take any course that had a final exam. He would only take courses that were project-based where he could demonstrate his learning. Now, doesn't that make sense? You know, if you take a final exam and you get your grade back, what does that tell you? Doesn't tell you anything. How can you show that to an employer? But if we can show you a project that a student's accomplished, if that student can say, this is what I've done, this is what I wrote, this is what I created, you as an employer are going to be a lot more receptive to that kind of approach as far as demonstrating learning. So our entire first floor is going to be around project-based active learning and student engagement in a new way. And I'm also excited to say we'll have a community room. I forget what the numbers are, 150, 160. We'll try to squeeze in the luncheon for the chamber in that area. So we want you on our campus, and we want you to understand what we're doing in our learning approach.
Well, we'll be glad to utilize your space.
Okay.
We do.
Matthew had to interject that.
Yeah, we do have one.
Absolutely.
We do have one quick question. You did mention funding. Can you expand on that a bit more? Are Fort Bend County or other unincorporated Katy areas also considered out of district for tuition?
Yes, Spring Branch ISD is out of district. Katy is out of district. Lamar ISD is out of district, and Fort Bend ISD is out of district. But they're in the but they're being served by Houston Community College. Stafford and the city of Missouri City are in district with Houston Community College, as is Alief ISD. So again, that is the taxing base for Houston Community College, just under between 250 and 300 billion dollar valuation with less than a 10-cent tax that has been lowered for the last 10 years and not been raised. So a substantial tax base, and so it's just an issue, you know, it becomes a tax issue. And it's something the community, I wouldn't say needs to join Houston Community College, but it needs to understand the circumstances around that and joining and see if it would resonate with the community. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. HCC will not push that. It will have to be a community-driven decision. Okay. Next slide, Matthew. Okay, these are some virtual views of the inside campus. Again, it's going to be spacious, state-of-the-art learning opportunities. It's really a campus on rollers. Move things in, move things out. A digital campus where students have access to a digital environment and digital literacy. Okay, next page. Okay, those of you with deep pockets, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to do everything I want to do at this campus. And so we do have naming opportunities for the campus, for the building. Building 1, our Learning Commons engineering program, horticulture program, testing lab, community room, digital and art design labs. If you're interested in your business or you or your family making a contribution in some way or another, we would love to talk with you about that in the Houston Community College Foundation. For example, for me, I support the Dr. Zachary Hodges Engineering Scholarship. That's for students in our engineering programs. So there's all kinds of opportunities for you to support students in Katy or putting your name and your family's name on a business. And I'll mention my zip code at the end, and phone number so you can get in touch with me if you're interested in that. Okay, next page. That's our evening view. Again, the conceptualization and goals that we're going to have is create a learning ecosystem. And let me just kind of oversimplify that and just indulge me for a minute. Okay, in the past, the classroom has been where the learning occurred. What we're saying now is that learning occurs everywhere all the time. So learning can occur outside the classroom, on the campus. It can occur in the community. It can occur at home. It can occur through an internship at your location. It could occur through a volunteer effort on our students. So learning occurs everywhere all the time in the 21st century. And student engagement can occur in a lot of different ways as well. And again, through technology, one-on-one, in person, with a well-designed curriculum that shows the students how to react. In the fall, we'll have a number of our classes that where the student will be able to attend in person, but if they're not attending in person, it will be online, so they can view that lecture online as well, either synchronously or asynchronously. And then innovation, that we have really established ourselves as a leader in innovation, higher education in the country. We want to push the envelope on the way students learn. Again, if you've got a kid at home, you know what I'm talking about. They're interested in doing, they're interested in making things and building things and networking and so forth. So we want to create an environment where those kids come to our campus and then are as nimble as possible for 21st century opportunities. And we are doing that. Hope a lot of you visited our West Houston Institute and our makerspace at our West Houston Institute, where we're helping produce a lot of the PPP for the greater Houston area at that site, because we could respond immediately. So hope you're getting excited about our new campus. Okay, next page. Okay, some of the various components: a creativity lab, creative coaching and tutoring, design and media development centers, faculty student engagement space, an open library, learning commons to build digital fluency. Again, learning occurs everywhere all the time. A lot of informal learning spaces, one-on-one, small groups, larger groups, a campus on rollers where you can pull your group over into a corner of the campus. All the classrooms are open if you need to use them. A real student-centered, student engagement-centered campus. Okay, next page. Dual credit in Katy. Again, we've been doing it since 1979. See all the mascots of the high schools at the bottom. We offer dual credit at every high school. I'm sure some of your students have taken our dual credit. I know my daughters did. And again, can you imagine taking your economics, your English, your government history, and your electives, and while still in high school, and the current rate, the charge for that is $75 for a course. It's at all high schools, and then you leave to go to the university with 24 to 30 hours of credit, and you're finished with your freshman year. That ought to appeal to parents, you know. Let's put that money that you'd spend in your freshman year into graduate school if necessary, or save it for the next kid coming along. This is a great pathway. Katy ISD is a great partner and is going overboard to focus on dual credit with us and be our partner in this. So we're excited about that. And at the Miller Career Center, we have dual credit in audio recording, filmmaking, and we'll have some soon in teaching. So very successful program. Okay, next page. This shows your enrollments. Cinco Ranch is the highest, 314 students in the fall, 307 in the spring. You can see all of the numbers Those numbers continue to increase each semester. And again, Katy ISD has the largest number of dual credit students within Houston Community College. So great partnership. We're really happy about it. So if you don't know about it, check with your high school and find out about it. Katy's good about advertising it. It's in your class schedule for your students. It shows you in that class schedule where you can take dual credit. Katy's done a good job of making it easy for parents to understand that. But you can follow it up. And also, I'll tell you, as we were getting into the engineering field, a lot of our students are really just knocking the top out of their math. Houston Community College goes up through Calculus 3. So there's a number of students that may not be able to advance any farther in high school that can come over to the campus and take those calculus courses and keep going, so we don't slow them down. Okay, next page. Our College Connections program in Katy ISD. We're not saying every student in Katy ISD should go to Houston Community College, but what I am saying is every student in Katy ISD ought to go to some post-secondary institution or experience, whether it's the military or whatever. And most of those students, because of access, will want to go to Houston Community College. So again, not saying everybody ought to go, but everybody ought to go somewhere. So we work really hard of reaching down into the high schools for seniors and juniors, and really even to the 9th grade, where they have chosen their pathway and advising them what curriculum they need to finish that 4-year degree when they graduate from high school. I'll get into that again in a minute. By providing financial aid workshops, on and on. So we're in the middle of all of our high school partners in Katy. Next page. Real excited about our partnership with UHV, University of Houston, Victoria. Our initiative is starting Katy, finishing Katy. They accept 66 hours from the community college towards all of these programs, and they have them both online and in person. There is no reason in the world that somebody can't get a 4-year degree in the Katy area now. These are comprehensive. All courses are offered in the Katy area through U of H. Katy, which houses U of H Victoria, engineering, and the health careers. No reason not to get a 4-year degree and stay at home. Again, we're offering the first 2 years. UHV, U of H, and the nursing program are not offering freshman and sophomore level courses. Save money. Real excited about University of Houston offering 3 new degree programs specifically for Katy. One in construction engineering, another in computer engineering and analytics, and another one in systems engineering. Students start at the community college, but guess what the first math course is at Houston Community College in engineering? Calculus 1. So it's critical for students to know in high school to take college out, take Algebra 1 in 9th grade and move through that so they're ready when they graduate from high school to go right into an engineering program. We are very excited about our U of H HCC Engineering Academy at Katy. Susan Thompson may be on the line. Many of you know Susan. She's our project manager for this. This will be offered in a cohort basis at our current campus starting this fall, in which students will take their engineering courses at the U of H Katy, but they will take their other courses, math and science, at Houston Community College in a cohort basis, so that they'll go through together. This is a jointly enrolled program. So from day one, if you're accepted into this program, you're a Cougar, okay? You can go to football games, you'll have that student activity fee, you are a Cougar. on day one. It's just that you're attending Houston Community College and the University of Houston. Best of both worlds. Smaller classes going through together. We expect at least 75 students to participate this starting in the fall. Next page. Let me say one other thing about all of this information is going to be available online at Houston Community College for Engineering. It's hccs.edu/engineering, and it'll talk about all these programs. U of H Katy will offer a BSN program at the new Katy campus, but you have to have an associate degree in nursing to finish the BSN program. And the only place you can get that is at our HCC Coleman College or one of the Lone Star campuses. So you can take the prerequisites for the BSN program for U of H Katy or for Houston Community College at the Katy campus of Houston Community College. But it is not a direct pathway into a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. So you'd have to have an associate degree in nursing first and then transition into the Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Okay, next page. I'm running out of time here. Okay, making the vision a reality. What comes next? Next slide. We're conducting a fundraising campaign. Again, we'd love to visit with you about how you can contribute through facilities enhancements, an innovation fund to fund the kinds of ideas that we have, or through scholarships. By you helping a local Katy student, by paying their tuition and books, you're making an investment in that student. And also, we would promise you an opportunity for you to continue to monitor that student, mentor them, and know how they're doing. So we have a great program in that. So if you're interested in sponsoring a Katy ISD graduate, let us know. Next. Okay, questions. I'll take a deep breath.
Thank you, Dr. Hodges.
My email is zachary.hodges@hccs.edu. And my phone number is 713-718-5721. I'll try to put that up in chat.
Okay, thank you. We do have a question. Yeah, we do have a few. How are you handling internships and work-study programs differently following COVID-19? And how can business associations help with your support?
I think we have to customize that based on the best safety principles with the employer. Again, we have students coming back on campus to finish their lab experience. We have a number of, we also have a number of union opportunities that we have that we just have to customize each of those experiences. And so I will be happy to, I posted my email, but I'll be happy to discuss that with any employers. I'd let you know, the best financial aid for a student is a part-time job. Any waiter in West Houston probably attends Houston Community College or U of H. So, we still believe, I worked my way through school, and I'm sure you did too. And so any kind of support you can give students through your company, paying their tuition, giving them a flex hours to take their classes, we do this as a community, and it takes the community to help us create that 21st century workforce.
Absolutely. And we'll reach out and we'll talk about partnerships and the way the chamber can help specifically for HCC. We do have a question from one of our media partners. They saw that HCC is waiving the distance education fee for the summer of 2020 semester. Is HCC working on other financial help for students during the fall semester?
Yes, we will have some CARE Act funds that are available. And But the first thing a student has to do is they have to apply for a Pell Grant. Whether you go to Rice, A&M, University of Houston, wherever you go, you have to go through the financial aid process, because the federal government provides students with a grant or gives them a qualification or not a qualification for financial aid. And so any university, any community college is going to require that. And then we're going to base your funding on the base and how we supplement that funding on what the federal government grants you. And if they don't grant you funding, we have a number of undocumented students who attend Katy ISD, and they're not entitled to federal funding. And so we have to go through other resources to help them get their tuition paid so they can continue on with Houston Community College. So it's, again, a community effort, but the fundamental floor is through the federal program, the Pell Grant, the FAFSA application. And that's also would be explained thoroughly through videos online at hccs.edu.
Thank you for sharing. Follow-up question that we've seen KISD and a number of other local school districts that have made great efforts to ensure students have access to the internet and a device to do coursework during school closures. What did HCC do to ensure all of its students had access to online courses during COVID?
Well, we had the advantage that all of our faculty, whether adjunct faculty or full-time faculty, had access to our Canvas system, which was putting their syllabus and their learning objectives and activities online already. So students, even if they were taking a class in person, they could access that to understand, a reminder of what the requirements were going to be. So we were a step ahead as far as transforming our curriculum to online. We made a partnership with Comcast as far as students could buy a laptop for $75. They couldn't afford it, or if they didn't have access, then we went out of our way to provide that for students and provide those resources, and then also for our faculty as well. So we made that shift, and we were all really happy with the level of satisfaction that students had, understanding the circumstances and taking their safety first in mind. We're patient and accommodating, but at the same time, we went out of our way to contact every student over and over again to make sure that they had had what they needed in order to get through with the semester. And then if they couldn't get through with their courses, they could take a W, which they could withdraw from the course, or they could get an incomplete, and they have a year to make up that incomplete with faculty. So there were a lot of students that just couldn't do it. They say, hey, I got kids at home, my job, I just can't do it. They got an incomplete if they asked for it, and they have a year to make up their program. So we went in every direction to try to accommodate our students, and did.
Well, that's great. Yeah, definitely. For those that joined the call late, can you just go over again real quick, what details can HCC share about its campus reopening plan for the fall semester? What kind of logistics does the college have to overcome that maybe students or the community haven't thought about yet?
Well, we are being very deliberate about safety first. So we are following all of the guidelines from the state as far as, at this point in time, 1/4 capacity. So in 36 students, we would only allow 9 students in a class. So we will observe all guidelines. We will expect all students to wear masks. We will go through all of the procedures, for bringing students on campus. For example, if they're in a lab, then we will wipe that lab down through established protocols. after that class, and then and get it ready for the next class. So we're going to every length, just as the public schools will, in bringing students back on campus in a safe environment. And plus, to reassure parents and reassure the students that it's a safe environment. It's going to be tough for all of us to walk back on campus, but we will have more online courses in the fall, but we'll be open for business. So if we have a class of 36 and we have to only have 9 students, we'll have to have 4 different sections of that class. So hopefully the guidelines will be a little bit lessened by that time. But if not, whatever the state requirements are from the coordinating board in the state of Texas and the local authorities is what we will observe, and then go the extra mile to do more than that.
Has the pandemic, and you might have touched on this already, and if you could just re-answer, has the pandemic postponed any plans for the new campus, or plans still on track?
No, plans are still on track. As a matter of fact, we'll probably bidding out the construction before long, and it may be a better time to get a lower bid, than it would have been 6 months ago, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and there's the truth is that construction has continued on, and not having people on in facilities and so forth has allowed us to make a lot of improvements we needed to make as well.
Do you have any type of mentorship program from students to business leaders?
You know what? Katie has a great mentor program, and I've been on the advisory board for that for a number of years. We don't have a program that I could tell you about online, but we have every opportunity if, with the number of engineering programs that we have, a number of other programs that we have a lot of engineers out there that are retired that we can, that we need help with our students, getting them up over the hump on engineering programs and in other areas as well. So if you're interested in mentoring a student, please, let me know, and we can accommodate you. And we have the ability to do that. It's just we don't have an organized program at this point in time, but we do have the ability to do that.
It's great to hear. Well, thank you, Dr. Hodges, for your time today. If you'd like to take a quick minute for any closing remarks, please feel free to do so. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap this presentation up.
Well, thank everybody for listening and participating. I covered a lot of material. If you have any follow-up, I've got my phone number and my email there. Be happy to respond to you. I really want you to see this. The commitment that we're making is an investment in Katie, and that you as well will say, this is our community college and we need to support it, and do whatever you can to talk to students about, taking advantage of the opportunity that we're providing. So again, Katie's home. Let's make this as good as it can be.
That's great. Start Katie, finishing Katie.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Hodges. We will have this presentation for those that may have missed it or joined late or had to leave early. This presentation was recorded. We will have it on our YouTube and social pages as early as tomorrow, if not by the end of the day today. So thank you again, Dr. Hodges, for your time.
Matthew, thank you so much for the great job you're doing with the chamber, stepping in and just really, really building this chamber.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Goodbye.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you for everything.